Make sure y'all can hear me. Because I had to update some stuff, so give me a second. Second here. I had to okay, y'all can hear me. All right, I'm gonna do it like this. Screen share. So I want y'all to listen to this first. Don't mind that. That's just some shit I had to update.
So as I talk to you now, there are protests and there are riots taking place. So as I talk to you, and of course, since the last time I met with you was the death of George Floyd. So what has happened since is to me quite disturbing. His death is quite disturbing. The statistics actually do not show that police are particularly racist. We don't even know that George Floyd died because of his color. We don't know. These things have not been established. He might have been. Maybe the policemen did not value Black lives. That is certainly possible. There are bad policemen. There are bad doctors. I mean, evil in the sense of good and bad. There are bad doctors. There are bad chiropractors. There are bad plumbers. There are bad engineers. There are bad professors. Every group on earth has bad people within it. It is not possible not to have any bad people. The New York Times had a headline, "There will be protests until there is no more police brutality." Then there will always be protests.
I'm just going to pause this real quick because I want people to understand the reason why I'm playing this. On this site here, I don't want to lose the page, but on this website right here, Candace Owens has her own show on there and stuff like that. And so this is the president, this is the founder, this guy right here, this Prager guy. Forget his first name, but he's the founder of this news outlet or media outlet, also schooling and stuff like that. So I wanted you guys to basically hear what this guy has to say, because it shows a good little thing to show the mindset of the people that's wanting to listen to her, and the people that's putting her on, and the people that want her to voice her opinion. These are the people who gives her a voice and stuff like that. And they supposed to be like the leading conservative doohickey around the block media outlet for the newer guys. They're pushing stuff to saying, hey, we got 3 billion views on our website, on our videos and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I'm playing this right here. And as you can see, there's always some already some key talking points where he's saying that, police ain't inherently racist. He's saying that he don't even know that, that if the cop is racist, whatever he did when it comes to Mr. Floyd. But there's also some other talking points that he hits up. There will always be bad people. Yes, we all know that. Then he comes, then after this, he's going to hit on to there's not much racism to fight, which that's a damn lie. And then he hits on to why don't Black conservatives agree? He has to understand that most Black folks don't even understand, what it means to be a liberal, what it means to be a conservative, Democrat, or Republican. Most of them don't even know that. Most people, they don't work on those vibrations of, and get into one thing. Tyrone and Marquez Johnson was happening. So, and then he goes on, it's another one he got. I see no color is the goal. Everybody sees color. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you this one thing: if it ain't racism, it's prejudice by via the color of somebody's skin. So we're gonna I'm gonna roll the tape.
Because there will always be some police brutality. You don't have angels as police. The number of police who do not engage in brutality is astonishing given how hard their job is. So I don't ever expect utopia. This expectation, we will root it out completely, doesn't exist on planet Earth. By the way, the people who say that, these are usually the well-educated, let their kids become policemen. There's a simple answer to this. If you believe that there are bad people going into police work, go into police work. Have the children who are graduating from Yale and Stanford and so on, let them go into police work. See if they do better when confronted with people every day who want to kill them. It's sickening, frankly, the rhetoric that is taking place here. First, it's based on a lie. Most police are not racist. Most whites are not racist. I have said for years the greatest libel in my lifetime is that America is a racist society. That's how bad it is. It's a libel. This is the least racist society where multiple races live in the history of the world. People get along great in this society. This is a manufactured crisis, manufactured for political and other reasons. People need meaning in life, so this gives them meaning. I'm fighting racism. That's beautiful, but there's not much racism to fight. I'm sorry. That's just, I have to apologize for saying how wonderful America is. I am being photographed right now by a young black man. Okay, we talked about this earlier. To all the blacks in my life, I ask these questions. How come black conservatives don't agree that America is racist? What's wrong with them? Do they walk around with white face? Really, how do you explain the million at least black conservatives, people who celebrate America? They walk around and interact the same way blacks who loathe America and the whites who loathe America, known as AKA leftists. If you want to find offense and evil, keep looking for it. You'll always find it. I don't want to close my eyes to evil.
Tyrone, good question. What is this guy talking about? It's hard for me to really like pay attention to this shit for a second time. It's really fucking hard. But what I could tell this guy is it's very easy to find racism in America. In every major city, there's people that black people can't go or not welcomed. We could say California, Washington State, Arizona, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Maryland. There's places in Maine black folks ain't welcome. There's places in New York black folks ain't welcome. So, for this guy to come out here and say that, racism, you got to go out your way to find this shit. No, it's this smacking your motherfucking face. And now that we're in the age of social media and stuff like that, when you start seeing this stuff that happened with George Floyd and then the protests, you start to find all kind of people get caught in a racist ways and then get fired. And then get fucking fired. It's this smacking our face. There ain't that many black people in America that has not been on the back end of some type of racist shit. My neighbor the other day told me, if you see a nigger, slap him. When I was growing up, people would do shit like that. Oh, you nigger and this and the third. Blah, blah, would do a whoop. Try to dehumanize you because of the color of your skin, or already have some type of pre-notion, prejudice against you already because of the color of your skin, because they haven't seen a well-educated black man a day in their damn life. and everything around them is telling them that the black man ain't worth shit. And then when they see it, then they're like, damn. Ron Sportsman Lee, what's happening, baby? Back to the basics, what's happening? If y'all want to get on the link is above. So, you know, this some people ain't qualified to speak on. I'm not qualified to speak on white issues. I'm not qualified. See what I'm saying? So what makes this guy qualified to sit up over here and say, why don't black conservatives agree? There ain't that many black people that agree with that's going to sit up over here and say things that Candace Owens is going to say, or Sheriff David Clark. Ain't that many. You know why they ain't that many? It's not because it's an unpopular popular thing to agree with. It's because it's a wrong thing and it's a dangerous thing to agree with. It's dangerous. And just listen to this guy, I know why Candace Owens still got a job and why Candace Owens still has a voice. Because people really think that there, for one, ain't no racism around here. There ain't that many police brutality crimes about here. There ain't no type of thing called systematic racism. There's nothing like that. There's really people around here, and this is what happens. That leads up to a black person wake up call. People walking around this earth, black people walking around in the U.S. talking about I'm not black, or walking around here saying they never experience racism when they have, saying things like, okay, I'm going to get a job not because of the color of my skin, but because I am qualified. You see what I'm saying? There's people out there like that. And then when they get that black person wake up call, either it's because they believe the police don't see color. And then they get all kind of questions. Where you coming from? Is this a rental car? Where are you going? What kind of job you have? What's your credit score? When you start getting treated like you like you know, people do treat you like you a black person, then you get your wake up call, and then you still sit up over there and say this dumb shit. Talking about Candace Owens. Even if you don't believe it's dumb, just think about it. Why does Candace Owens still have to sit up over there and face her family members, knowing now well that the talking points and shit that they want to check her on is she knows she wrong, basically. And she got to go face those people, the people that she loves. The people that she loves, she has to go face them. She going to have to speak to them. Or she probably think I ain't got to speak to them anyways. Back to the base. You got anything to say?
Well, first of all, hello.
How you doing?
I hadn't planned. I'm glad that I caught you live. I see. I try to, you know, get around and see, you know, try to check out everybody's channel. I'd say this is a mess. I mean, I think I lost a few brain cells just listening to it.
It kind of hurt, don't it? It hurt to listen to it, don't it?
And like, I can't. And I don't mean to cut you off, but the thing
ahead.
is, it's like he's too old. Like, brother, well, no, you're not my brother. Hold on, let me clean that up. Like, you have white hair. Like, aren't you a baby boomer? So how are you even talking this stuff right now? I have no idea.
Because this thing, they have their own political agenda. And that's why they, like when you go through the page, you know, conservative, they talk about conservative talk and stuff like that. Try to get people to sign up for these college courses through them and stuff like that. That's the reason why it's actually called Prager University, this website. That's the reason why it has the U at the end of it. So, you know, I don't think I need to go. We could go further into this thing. But another thing I want to show people is, where is it? Right here, the Candace Owens show. So even on here, she has her own show, which she gives out her views on life, political and stuff like that. I'm not gonna watch it. I heard enough of her. And as you go down the list and you see who's on there, just by their faces, you know, you could tell that, she doesn't really have a lot of real life dudes on there. You know what I'm saying? She does, but is not for me, especially when you have somebody on your show like Sheriff David Clark. It's not for me. This is for people who think, to me, when I see it and I'm just scrolling down the list, it doesn't scream like somebody is there's nothing wrong with like not being proud to be black, but there's something wrong with you not being comfortable with being black. And that's basically how she talks, as far as what I'm concerned. That's how she gives off. That's what she gives off. And when you look at her audience, that's how they do. And then if you go down later in this website, the leadership shows it right there. Look at the leadership. The leadership shows it right there. And I bet you if I start looking up these dudes, and stuff like that, and start looking up their Twitter and all this stuff, whatever kind of websites and talking points that they have, I'm going to find out it is not for me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go to this thing, if you black, really to tell you the truth, I'm going to tell you that you hate your nappy hair and you don't really like being black. You wish you was one of them. And then when you go to this other spot, you go to where is it at? You got another little spot on here. It's not podcast. It actually shows, like, I think it's presenters. Let me see. Presenters. Sheriff David Clark is on here. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of people on here, I never heard of and stuff like that. But this Antonia Okafor and this Ayan Harisi Ali. And you keep going down the list and stuff like that. There's gonna be a whole bunch of people. Like, I guarantee you, I'm not gonna agree with their views. And that's okay. You're not supposed to go out there and agree with everybody. Oh, there he is, Sheriff David Clark. We all know about him. And if anybody supports that guy, this is the guy that said ain't no such thing as police brutality. And then the next day, a motherfucking brother got his ass whooped in his hometown, in his spot where he used to be a sheriff. So when you start going down the list, it starts looking kind of grim and stuff like that. I'm not mad at folks that's even got Glenn Beck, that guy. I'm not mad at people that have jobs and stuff like that, need to feed their family and stuff like that and stuff. But at some point, man, the buck dancing got to end. The buck dancing, literally, it has to end. How long can you do it? You're going to get tired. You're going to need some water. You're going to need some salt, some electrolytes. You're going to need something. You're going to need something to, replenish them nourishments, And not only that, even let's just say, for instance, let's just say, for instance, I was broke and I want to take care of my old lady and kids and stuff like that. And I got a buck dance. I'm going to be looking like a sad ass clown. When you see me on the streets, I'm going to be looking like a sad ass clown because I know I'm dead ass wrong. Mm-hmm. These people, when you see them, they smile and they looking at you with like, I'm in the big house. Get your ass back in that field. You know what I'm saying? Dang. I'm in the big house. Get your ass back in that field. And I went,
Oh, my.
And at some point you got to say enough is enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that's what, Jason Whitlock did. He asked for more money, but I'm pretty sure it's like, you're going to have to pay me for my pain and suffering for, I can't sleep at night. But you got what else you got? What you got? Anything else you want to talk about?
All I gotta say is that she disgusts me. No. I know, like I said, I'm proud to be black. Shoot, I don't have nothing to be ashamed of as far as my my ethnicity or my race. I understand that not everybody's gonna hold the same political views. Personally, I'm really dissatisfied with both parties. I'm a registered independent.
Right.
I really think that this election is going to be, it's going to be, I don't even know if you could say choosing between the lesser of the evils at this point. Because to me, it just looks evil. That's all I can think of right now. But yeah, I don't really have any too much. As soon as I seen her, I think I seen her on Fox or somewhere she was at, and I listened to a little sound bite. I was like, no, I'm fine, thank you. Um, it's a shame. I have zero tolerance for coons and sambos. I have zero tolerance, so that's fine. And
Yeah.
I used to have that we are the world mentality too. But then, after seeing what's been going on the past few years, particularly this year, it's like, no, yeah, no more. No more. Like I was in and out of consciousness in college, I realized I wasn't a feminist at all. I'm really not. I'm an equal opportunist, and I'm definitely pro family. So I
Right.
just, yeah, when I see people like this, um, to come out and against our people, because that's what it is. It is, that I can't I'm not I'm not going to co-sign on it. It's just ridiculous. She really disgusts me, because it's 1 minute if it's somebody white saying something, dropping the N-word or whatever, okay. But when you got somebody that is literally helping the enemy's cause, it's like, wow. Because at the end of the day, what they don't realize is after you get done doing whatever they want you to do, they're going to turn right on you too. You really think that they won't, but they will, because the elite only care for the elite. They don't care about anybody buck dancing or window dressing. And no offense, I'll even go so far as to say that they don't even care about their own people. I saw that 75-year-old man get pushed down, and he was just standing there. So you don't even care about your own people. The elite only care for the elite, period. But
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But you let somebody white tell it, oh, I have white privilege.
Oh yeah, they do.
You're just a higher tier slave to me. Because at the end of the day, let's say worst comes to worst, they got all the black people, the brown people, the olive, the tan, the red, the yellow, whatever. Guess who they're coming after? Oh, the white people, because you're the only one left. Because the elite only care for the elite. Just a higher tier slave. And as far as most of these celebrities out here, they're just a high class slave with money and handlers. That's it.
And you brought up that point with the elderly white dude. I think he was elderly. I think he is.
He was 75 years old.
Yeah,
they had it on the news. I'm like, dang. I mean, that officer just came over there and T-boned him, and I'm like, but that's like.
And when he fell on the ground, it looked like he was about to give him another one.
Yeah, and the other officer was like, had to tell. He pretty much pushed him forward. I said, wow, so you don't even care about your own people.
It kind of seemed like it's see that aspect of the talking point where this, the Prager guy brought up, the police brutality thing, is that one thing about I don't understand is that the weapon that the public has against the police is a camera, it's a cell phone, a GoPro or whatever, and I don't know what really goes through their mind on, like, not abusing their powers and stuff like that. But you going around like pushing people, just macing random people, shooting up random people's cars with pepper spray little paint thingies, and you doing all that, and it's all caught on camera. It's like you think like nobody's really paying attention. I know they know people paying attention.
Of
it's
course
just that
they do. Yeah.
I think some of them just don't give a damn. They're like, and then you got to understand. And then another aspect of it is that some of these police precincts and stuff like that, they protected by a police union. So some of these guys really can't be fired. They can only be fired under certain circumstances or they could be liable to be sued and then get their job back by way of the police union. You know what I'm saying? That's why every time something happens with a cop, a shooting or something like that, they tell them to be quiet, blah blah blah, whoop, and talk to your union rep before you talk to anybody else, so they can get the lawyers involved and make sure that he's well covered. And that's why I try to tell a lot of people is that with George Floyd, we can sit up over here and say that this is what we want as far as what these officers need to be charged with, but you have to be careful with that, because a lot of times what happened was when you overcharge these cops, that's how these cops get off. So I'm thinking that if you're going to get this guy with what was it, murder, second degree, first degree?
I think it was second degree for the officer.
Well, without intent. It was yeah.
Yeah, who had his knee on his neck. I think they're charging him with second degree.
See, I haven't looked it up in that state, or that state what the actual law is, what, like, actually read it and then decipher it. Because I pull up court cases every now and again on my page, but majority of those are like boxing related. But you have to prove that aspect by definition in court. You see what I'm saying? It's not how you think, it's not how you feel, is what's written in black and white. And that's the thing that really fucking does suck. But if you overcharge, these people are liable to get off. And one of my buddies, he's part of my boxing community, Lions Den boxing community, Fanon, he says something like, the lawyer looks kind of, sketchy, but he hopes that, later on he can, because, you got to be used car salesman up in there. You got to literally pitch your arguments to the jury and hope the jury can, understand what you're saying, or even if you're wrong or right, they let them like what you got to say. You got to you selling them, second degree murder without intent or whatever it is. See what I'm saying? And so if this dude can't even talk in the press conference, like he said, what makes you think he's going to talk right in the courtroom?
You brought up a lot of good points, because you brought up the law, and that's the thing. What I've noticed in the law, I have a criminal justice degree. I'm not, a lawyer. I didn't go for pre-law, and I tell you, whenever I did my internship at juvenile court, let me tell
badass kids, I bet.
Well, not only that, but I had a chance to observe a probate course that went through there. So I had a chance as an intern to observe the jury selection process, among other things. I had a chance to see the prosecutor and the defense attorney, argue their points before a judge. And there was also, because the case involved a last will and testament. And the son was challenging his father's
That's
last
some Omarosa shit right there.
Yeah. But I tell you what, the defendants won, and I'm going to tell you why. Because as far as the father involved, he was terminally ill, right? So he was really terminally ill the last 10-15 years of his life. His son had a business. He was in and out of town, you know what I mean? So there was a married couple next door who took care of his father. So his father, within the last 5 years, changed his last will and testament to where he left them the house, and I do believe one vehicle, and the other part of the will, he left some money for his grandkids. And the reason, and again, now there was the prosecutor was again cross-examining another lawyer, because he asked him, well, was he mentally competent to make that decision? And so it was ruled finally that he was. So I've had a chance to observe the whole process. And just like you said, the law is one of those, I call it slippery slopes, because yes, there is what is written, and also it's the burden of proof on the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And really, right, with the film, it's like an open and shut case, because he had his knee on his neck for over 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. Yeah. And the brain can only go without oxygen for 4 to 6 minutes. I mean, he was dead at the scene. Even witnesses said, hey, he went unconscious at the scene. What was so sad was that I didn't see anybody make any attempts to perform CPR on Mr. Floyd. That was even more disheartening. Like, you guys didn't even make even a last ditch effort to even start chest compressions or do any type of mouth to mouth resuscitation. It really is a darn shame. But with the law, yes, there is what is written, and you have to persuade the jury. But also, as far as the jurors are also given the law and they're advised by the judge. So there's a lot of there's many factors where it could go either way. But really, based on that live stream, there should be no way where they should get off, because again, everything was caught on film. So, and if they got off, it would be, it would be like the upset of the century, probably. I mean,
And I don't think they want that. But I also, there's two questions. There's one question I want to ask, and there's another thing I want to bring up with what you just said. Hopefully, I can remember that.
Okay.
So I know it was only one case, but how do you see like the jury selection? I mean, well, what are your predictions, or do you have predictions on the jury selection for the Floyd case?
My predictions? Oh, okay. Now, based upon what I observed from observing this one case, because again, I only observed the jury selection process only once, so I'm by no means an expert. But what I saw was, as far as the lawyers, a person could be dismissed from jury duty for no cause at all. Me personally, I've been called for jury duty, but again, they never let me on a jury. And I've been called, I've been called 3 times for jury duty, but they
ain't
never
been called once.
Hey, but they never even got to me because the jury had already been selected. What I predict is that, again, the lawyers are going to pick people based upon they're going to ask them questions, and some of them may usually often, like, I remember one question. They'll ask, whether a person has been married, or they also may ask, hey, are they like, or they may ask, hey, are you an acquaintance of this or that and the other? Because again, if somebody is like a relative or something, that automatically creates a conflict of interest. So again, the lawyers are going to ask questions in such a way to get information in which they will determine whether this person is going to vote, their way or not.
Right.
And that's what I've seen prior in the past. As far as my prediction for this jury, I bet it would surprise me if I seen more than one Black person on that jury. It would really, and this is just me. I'm just predicting. I'm speculating, because and if they do, again, they're gonna pick somebody probably with the Candace Owens mindset, who is so embarrassed by her or ashamed of her Blackness.
What makes you afraid to being Black?
She's not afraid. She's just ashamed. See,
my bad. Yeah, that's right.
I got all this nap over here. I'm not really.
So you tell me, I take this hat off, girl. You be like, damn.
Hey, I'm coming up on a 2-year lock anniversary. But anyway,
congrats.
Shoot, thank you. But shoot, listen. It would surprise me if there was more than one Black person on that jury, because you got to have at least one to say diversity. But if they have more than one, it'll probably be people who they'll try to find with her.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you basically saying that both lawyers have to agree on the jurors. Or is it like some type of agreement? Like you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we could use that one. Yeah, we could use that one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I observed the process once, and yeah, you actually are actually sort of right, because you'll have one lawyer ask questions, and then you'll have the other lawyer ask questions. So yeah, but
That's
the thing is, it could be the way somebody's dressed, and they dismiss somebody. So it really doesn't even have to be based upon what somebody says.
oh, so you can't come in
That's
there with
where
FUBU on. You come in there with FUBU,
listen,
it's a wrap. They
good point.
come in there with a do-rag. Oh man, with some
Yeah,
Tim's.
don't come in there with
Oh, it's a wrap.
good
Oh,
point. But yeah, but I'm just saying, if dang, I'm really gonna have to go back through my criminal justice textbooks. I have a mini library at home back in
right.
Ohio, so I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go back through my books.
Yeah, I used to stay in Toledo. Yeah.
All right.
I'm a little familiar with Ohio. You know, it ain't bad. I just stuck around the Jamaican restaurants though. What else we got here? So you know, with a lot of this, you know, a lot of the, it just seems like a lot of the times when people sit up over here and they talk and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
about the situation with George Floyd, it always seems like, you know, the first thing people do is try to sit up over there and dehumanize or criminalize
Mm-hmm.
the you know, the deceased.
Yeah.
And on this one, it seems like they brought up his criminal record.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look it up, so I'm not going to say what's truthful and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought up his. I'm not even going to bring up what it was, but they brought up his criminal past, and you know, you got people like this Candace Owens, this so-called free thinker, out here saying that you know, George is not a saint and he shouldn't be used as a martyr and stuff like that. Well, my argument is that, you know, he is the definition of a martyr, whether or not you like it or not. This dude literally lost his life. Maybe not the, you know, the stuff going through his mind saying that, you know, he's willing to die to bring justice when it comes to police brutality and equality. But nonetheless, this is where we at right now. And you can't pick a time and the place for things to start to jump off. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been protesting a lot of these police brutality deaths or just police brutality for decades, and nothing has never happened. You have the president of the United States out here not even, you know, saying or insinuating that something needs to happen when it comes to how either it's the training for the police, whether it's the punishment or whatever the case may be. If you get caught doing police brutality, you get half your check taken away for 2-3 months, or you know, you go to jail, but you can still work for the police report, but you can only do certain things. You know, because on the military side, you get caught doing something like that, beating somebody up, you know, you can lose your security clearance.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Which will cause you to either, you know, lose your job. Eventually, you got higher tenure, which means you get bumped down to where, you know, if you don't meet this certain rank at a certain time, you're gonna get kicked out because
bye.
Yeah, there has to be something like, you know, because if too many people out here is getting a butt whooped, white, black, brown, or whatever the case may be, and it's all on tape, and nothing's ever coming by besides a speech by the police chief or something like that, which doesn't really mean a damn if you're not acting on it. There has to be some action. Now, you know, you got the police out here, you know, saying they out here saying is enough. We deserve the right to whoop your ass. Like you supposed to be Judge Dredd or something like that. Like, I am the law. You know what I'm saying? Punishment is pepper spray for 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
you got dudes getting caught right now doing all kind of like felonious ass shit, like cops getting caught with doing all kind of felonious ass shit. It's kind of like if if you're gonna hold me, a citizen, you're gonna hold me accountable for my actions.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be held accountable for my actions. I'm gonna be held accountable for my actions all the way up to the point to where I show up to court and the judge is gonna tell me that. But it seems like the actions of the cops, they don't want to be accountable, which I don't understand. If you push down a 75-year-old man, what do you think is gonna happen? He ain't got the balance. He ain't even got he got them old ass, big ass, cushiony ass shoes on with the Velcro on them. You know what I'm
Lord.
saying? What do you think is gonna happen when a senior citizen falls? They're gonna hit their head or they're gonna break a hip.
Yep.
Like we all
Mhm.
seen the Life Alert commercials. I'm falling and I can't get up. You know what I'm saying? We seen the commercials for that big ass phone called the jitterbug. We seen all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We seen all the commercials for
Shoot.
hip replacements and
Mhm.
and all kind of drugs that they be on and the recalls on the drugs and the lawsuits for the we if I know I got no business pushing nobody's grandma,
Mhm.
whether or not they in the way or not, I'm gonna me personally, I would have like grabbed them and like, come on, man, we gotta go, blah blah blah, whoop whoop. I'm not gonna push no old ass motherfucker. Especially, why should I be pushing people at a protest where at a spot where no cars is being nothing's being vandalized, nothing is being messed up. Everybody just out there singing and chatting and speaking their mind and stuff like that. Why
Mhm.
should I be going around as a cop smacking people upside their head with billy clubs and spraying pepper spray? What if these see this is another thing. This is why if you was a cop, you should be scared. When you see shit like that, if I'm a cop, that shit will make me scared. Because when people's out here doing what they supposed to do, when people is out here uh doing their things between the lines, and then you do some shit that actually hurt people and stuff like that, and then somebody start going down the street, start bucking, or pipe bombs or pressure cooker bombs or anything like that, why do you think it happened? I'm not saying by all means don't nobody go do that shit, but why would you think it would have happened? Because you pissed somebody off. You went above and beyond from what you was told to do. Y'all take oaths, just like people in the military take oaths, just like the fire department take oaths, just like
Mhm.
anybody that's a civil servant take oaths. So why are you why every time we hear something, the military got to be the most clean cut, can't do shit wrong, but the police can get away with anything and
Mm.
everything, especially if the dude is especially if you have a dead man's words versus a live cop with no camera.
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because they are a protected group of individuals. So, um, I had just did a video on Mr. Nathaniel Woods because it's been a little over 90 days since his execution. And again, I don't see how they sentenced that man to death when they did not have a unanimous jury. But that's because of the Alabama laws in their criminal code that rules that a 10-2 is needed, which is a supermajority, not a unanimous vote in order to send in order to put somebody on death row.
Mm,
So again, what we are talking about is a protected group by the powers that be. So of course, Mr. what's his name, Chauvin or whatever the heck his name was very smug in the execution of the killing of Mr. Floyd. He literally had his hands in his pocket, and then he had the nerve to taunt him to talk about, oh, well, what's wrong? Why don't you get up? That man called for his mother. That was so sad. When I seen him calling for his mother, I said, man, he ain't gonna make it. He's calling for his mother. He's not gonna
mm,
make that. He's not gonna make it. It
mm,
was it was a very sad sight, but you have a protected group of people that that the law, and if you look that the law has, and even the law protects them. So yeah, a person is already at a disadvantage, because again, we have a constitution, right? We have the Sixth Amendment, and the Sixth Amendment says that people have the right to a fair and speedy trial and to be charged by a jury of their peers, in the jurisdiction in which the crime happened, and have the right to confront witnesses, and all of that. But okay, fair and speedy trial, but really, is it fair when we have a protected group of people in which the law is already biased towards? No. It's as simple as that. No.
I seriously think that somebody said something pretty good. I forget who it was. It probably was Fanon or Drew Titan. Damn, I forgot who said this shit. Oh, it probably was just somebody else. I think that one thing is mental health is one of the keys as well. I'm gonna hit on that.
Yes.
I think that if you have police officers, oh my bad, the underrated darkness and Elf out player, what's happening, y'all? I see y'all up in there.
I need to look at the chat.
Yeah, if y'all up in there, man, just the link is in there if y'all want to get on. But mental health is one of them, all the way down to how much time they get on and how much time they off. Because how do you don't allow a semi truck driver to only drive X amount of hours, but you allow a police officer to drive around, stay up for X amount of hours with a gun? And then in some states, it's like California, they could pull you over and give you a DUI for drinking too much coffee.
Okay.
And the reason why I say the mental health thing is I think that some of these cops shouldn't be cops. I don't think they have a mental health issue. I think they just have a mental complex with what they think they can get away with and what they think they can't get away with. When you see some of these cops around here pushing people on the ground, trying to move people's hands out the way so they can spray them, with not within the allotted amount of space, because you could actually make somebody blind by way of the PSI of these devices, because they actually have pressure on them. So if you're too close, it can actually make you blind because it'll actually puncture your actual retina. The same thing with the baton. They know they ain't supposed to be hitting people upside their head and their joints and stuff like that, because you could cause internal bleeding, especially in the ribs. They know they're not supposed to be shooting rubber bullets, especially out of a shotgun at point blank range. I believe the allotted amount of feet for a rubber fucking bullet out of a shotgun, I believe, is either 10 or 20 feet, because at close range, it can fucking kill you. And then it's no longer riot control. It's basically like using a deadly weapon.
This is true.
And I think that some of these cops, man, I just don't think they give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you have a boss and you doing things out there, you making your boss work overtime because every week he got to make a speech because of somebody under him fucked up on camera. You see what I'm saying? And then every time somebody fucks up, they even go back and they don't condemn the cop right away. They don't condemn that person right away. They always give them the benefit of doubt. They always give them the benefit of doubt. They always try to put the blame on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then say, oh, we're going into investigation. The investigation happens only until they find out that they can't protect this guy no more, as the time you see where this cop actually gets the raw dog. And it happens over and over again. That's the reason why I still got this website up, because I think this website is not informative, but it's not telling the whole truth. When it comes to anything, when it comes to anything on the talking point, what we're talking about right now, they're not telling the whole truth. They're telling what they want you to agree with, what the agenda that they pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the police force. I got a little cousin that died in San Diego, got hit by a car. The guy drove away, right, from the scene, right? They found the dude and still let the dude off.
Wow. Oh man.
And still let the dude off.
Wow.
And my cousin going around here at all these marches, been marching, been trying to get people to. I'm in Michigan, so I ain't know. I'm not there, so it's not like I can go every single time. You know, advocating for this happened in Lemon Grove. Advocating for that, and nobody want to listen to you. And the reason why people don't want to listen to you because they got other agendas to push, and if they push one person's agenda over the other, they got to worry about, guess what? The people with the money that ain't gonna bring a bag.
Right.
The people with the money that ain't gonna bring a bag, and that's the reason why I think a lot of these guys need to go. And people don't worry about to really tell you the truth. Don't worry about voting for. To me, I'm not voting for no goddamn president. I'm not, because they always look for the black vote, but us black people, we not, you know, we can't even get close to being on the same page. And then we got too many black people out there trying to tell us to vote for the wrong people all the time because they got money and they want to talk about some rock the vote and this and the third. See what I'm saying? And what I encourage people to do is to get hard locally. Get some of these sheriffs up out of there. Get some of these district attorneys up out of there. Work from the lower part and then work up. Because that way you can control your community, and then that way, once you control your community and stuff like that, that will help you within. If you can't even sit up over there, you don't know who your congressman or woman is. You don't even know who the sheriff is.
Right.
You don't even know who the police chief is. You don't know who the mayor, the governor is, the constable, whatever the case may be. You want to call these cats, the senators, and all these cats. You don't even know who they is. You don't know who to go talk to. And these cats ain't pushing your agendas. Your agenda is different between the rest of the society. It's totally different. If Walmart was burned down, the Amazon plant burned down, all these things burned down in your neighborhood, and you know you disabled, or you on Section 8, or you really do got a job, but you just been struggling to make ends meet. Right now, you're probably gonna be fucked in some of these cities. Right now, you're gonna be fucked in some of these cities, and ain't nobody giving a damn about you. Ain't nobody caring if you could pay your rent when this COVID shit is over. You could pay your bills, if you could feed your family, how the kids going to school and stuff like that. How the school is doing, is the school feeding the kids with the after school programs? None of that. They ain't giving a fuck about that shit. You know why they ain't giving a fuck about that shit? Because that ain't they fucking agenda to push. Because all these other cats that live in them other neighborhoods where they pay, you know, $3,000 to $6,000 a year just in taxes for their crib, they're not on the same level. They can afford to have their kid eat pizza every day at school. The little Papa John's or Pizza Hut personal pan pizzas and shit. The Subway at school and all this shit. They can put money in their pocket to do it. You eating the school lunch. Oh, we got my boy L Foul Player in here.
All right. What's up?
You on mute, L?
Yeah.
L.
You need to unmute.
Oh, he getting the scolding.
No, my bad. I knew I was on mute. My lady was talking to me. How y'all doing, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing excellent.
She's probably telling you to get your ass off this live stream.
What's up?
She's probably telling you to get your ass off this live stream.
No,
never to mine.
What was your name? I'm sorry, man. Like
Back to the basics.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm Joey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Likewise. No, I wanted to jump on too. I actually, when I first commented is when I started listening, but I was listening to the bulk of what you said in the last like while I was showering, because I just came back from the beach. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, Mike. With a lot of what you're saying. Hold on, let me get my chair. another thing too, like that, one of the reasons I wanted to jump on too is because like with the cops, as far as their treatment goes, like that, if you notice too, they're hypersensitive, bro. Like cops lives matter. Like every time you mention like Black Lives Matter as like a slogan, like cops want to follow it up with like police lives matter. Like these dudes get paid mad handsomely, even like in the face of these riots. Like they're getting overtime, they get retirements, pensions, and they want their feelings considered. Like when you present like issues of like black dudes getting murked, in the streets by cops. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get a lot of cops getting murked nowadays. Like these dudes are like ultra sensitive, even though they're getting paid like to pretty much bash like our skulls in. You know what I'm saying? Or kill us outright. But and with that too, at the end of the day, like that's like the last line of defense for white supremacy, pretty much, like in this country, is the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why you get a lot of that counter, like of Black Lives Matter. Like the counter to that is always like these, police lives matters or all lives matter. But like a lot of times, like all lives matter is like when people use that, like people look at it like as a more like racist. But like throwing police lives matters. Like you see people with those stupid fucking stickers, like with the American flag with the one blue line. You know what I'm saying? Like or like, but anything that's like used as a slogan rather than Black Lives Matter has always been looked at as like they're trying to go against like they're only saying that because they're trying to go against like Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hope at the end of all this, because I you're seeing a lot of corporations like saying that they're gonna invest money like for studies or fucking, that's bullshit. That's a line of bullshit. Like look at how much money they rang up like for these bailouts and shit. Fucking like when the country went into this COVID, like
exactly that it was like $2.2 trillion. So I hear you on
it was
that.
two of them. And there was another one that followed up after that was even more than that. I think it was like 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have a commitment from the country, like saying that they're gonna say like they're putting money towards or they're gonna not even studies. Because honestly, if you tell me you're doing a study towards something, that's basically telling me you're not gonna do it. But it's more like corporations saying they're gonna give $1 million like towards this or that, which equates to nothing. At the end of the day, like if they don't come out with like real reform at the end of all this, which I predict they're really not, like then this is all for naught. I mean, like, but things are changing fast. I mean, like I look at like all these things that are happening now, like believe it or not, as like a good thing in a sense. Not like people dying and all this shit, like or George Floyd getting killed. Nah, none of that. But as far as like people aren't burning the hood up like this time around. They're burning like more businesses. Like I don't give a shit about burning businesses, to be frank, because they're not my fucking businesses. Like I'm not about to own a fucking Home Depot or a Target. You know what I'm saying? Like and so the fact that gets like wailed on, it's at the end of the day, it's not my it's not my problem. And before, I think when all these riots happened, like in LA back in the day, like they were saying, oh, you're burning your own neighborhood, and like people like kind of like that was always used as a counter argument. Now like they're not using that as a counter argument. So I think that's like progress. Like they probably know like, yo, every time this shit happens in the future, this is what they're gonna do. And that's a good thing, because like shit's getting shut down for real right now. Like this is like worse than like the shutdown like due to the COVID. And like this happened like what, a matter of like a week. So like that's what like where I see the positive sides in all this, like like the reaction of the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Like now we're not falling for the bullshit. Killer Mike's trying to roll his ass out and say like fucking like about his dad being a cop or fucking no, I don't fuck with none of these dudes though. Like all these dudes that work in these and like within this political spectrum, I don't fuck with none of them. Like telling us, like even to roll out and vote. Like the only like way that they like, as far as like what Mike was referring to earlier, like weaponizing our vote is by all of us saying like we're not gonna vote. You know, like making a real plan of it, like fucking because like Biden don't represent no fucking black people. Hells no. You know, and like the lesser of two evils, like I mean, I ain't rocking with that either. Like, you know, at the end of the
The
day,
Babylon thing.
yeah. Even in one state, if like per se like a real democratic state like New York, if all the black people in New York were saying like this time around, we're staying our asses home, you know, that would like really cripple like, you know, one of the parties or really like boost up one of the parties. And then they could say, you know, like, all right, like now the black people, like they really gave it to us this time around. Because every time like it doesn't go like the Democrats' way or the Republicans' way, they blame it on black people anyway. So why not come out with a plan prior to and say like, you know, like fucking, like we're really gonna give it to you this time around. Expect us to really fuck you over this time around, rather than them trying to blame us after the fact anyway. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I ain't want to go on too long though, man. Like but I hope y'all are staying safe. Where are you? Back to the basics. Where you stay at, if you don't mind me asking.
I'm in Kentucky actually.
How's it out? Is it safe out there? Like,
Oh, it's, you know, I do see there are businesses that are opening slowly but surely. The gyms and stuff haven't opened yet, like swimming pools or anything like that. But it's slowly but surely. Maybe here in a few weeks we'll be, you know, more open than what we are right now. Me, I do my mask. I've been trying to make sure I get plenty of sunlight, you know, as far as vitamin D. And I also bought a few plants because I said, shoot, being up in this, you know, being up in that recycled air, like, nah, I need a couple plants. So I've been with my two, two plants now. One of them died. It is what it is. Two out of three ain't bad. So for for the plants that are still alive, I've been just trying to you know, take care of them and still, you know, going to work and doing what it is to do. I wear a mask and, you know, take all those necessary precautions. And if I see somebody trying to roll up on me, I just step back and I just maintain my distance. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Oh, and there's one more point that I remember too, like, and that's another reason why I wanted to jump on, like what Michael said about like the military, because Michael's, you know, Michael and me both have, you know, we were both in the military, but there was a dude from my neighborhood, this kid, he wasn't my people's like that, but he actually, me and him fought one time, and he busted my nose, but he joined the military before I joined the military. And he was in for like 2 or 3 years prior to me joining. But when I came back to Brooklyn, I saw him and I asked him, I was like, "Oh, you got out?" He's like, "Nah, I got kicked out." But and he basically told me he got kicked out because they investigated the killing of like an Iraqi, like, you know, while he was in Iraq, and like they didn't find like the reasoning behind him killing the Iraqi guy was justified. He didn't really get into the details, but how many times do you see like a cop really getting rolled on, like, you know, for killing a black dude? You know what I'm saying? And that dude, like the way he made it seem, it didn't, you know, this is like in another country altogether. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah.
William's here.
I'm sorry, guys. My guest just came through.
Yeah, you in trouble.
Thanks for letting me on, though, Mike.
All right.
You better get involved.
You too. Back to the basics.
Yes, peace and blessings.
Hey, Alfalfa, you better get involved before your wife knock your ass out.
Yeah, I'm starving too. I gotta eat. All right, later, guys.
All right, later.
Bye.
Yeah, he brought up a good point though with the it do seem like police brutality is like the last line of defense. Like the police, like the last line of defense with keeping black folks in check. It do. Like not in check, like as far as like just knowing their place. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the days, you watched them slave movies, you better know your place, boy. You know what I'm saying? like that. Like it sounds fucked up, but that's what that's exactly how it feels. Like we don't have that luxury to do whatever the hell we want to do. Like people think like this shit is just kumbaya and shit like that. Like, if you was to die today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not the police has something to do with it or not, who gonna be there for you? Who like literally, if you was to die today, like who's really out there gonna put that real good effort in to make sure they find your killer?
I know my mom would go all the way in. That's all I gotta say.
No, I don't mean like your family.
And my brother. Oh yeah,
I'm
well
talking
I
about
know what you're saying.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about the people that we pay taxes on and stuff like
Oh
that to go
no,
out
they
there
ain't gonna.
and do. You see what I'm saying?
They
They're
ain't
not
gonna
gonna
do
be
that.
there
They ain't
unless you
gonna
like some high profile dude and shit like that. Then they gonna bring out the lawyers and shit like that. The high profiles joints up out there. But even look at Floyd. This dude died eight something seconds, 8 minutes and some odd seconds with a dude's neck on him. They didn't check his. They checked his pulse wires on the ground and everything like that. But they knew the dude wasn't breathing. You don't see no chest compressions. They put him in the ambulance. You find out that he didn't die at the hospital. He died before he got to the hospital. And I told folks, man, that dude died before that. It's like they just confirmed that he was dead. They confirmed that he was dead at the hospital by way of a fucking doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What Laws say said, Mike, I got to go. I will catch up with you in a week. All right, Laws, man, just hit me up whenever you can, man, and stop being a stranger. You know what I'm saying? You got them digits, my brother. You know, but it just seems a lot of this stuff just seems like it's non-needed, man. Especially what's going on in these protests. I can see if you catching like looters and shit like that, spraying everybody because they fucking up buildings and shit. But you just got dudes with signs, like literally having signs and being on the public street, and you just spraying everybody, talking about some get back and smacking them upside the head with either a wooden or metal stick. Man,
You know why? Because the powers that be, they want a race war. Again, with that policeman pushing down that 75-year-old man, or you know, with them just the behavior. This is what the powers that be, they want a race war. And really, to be honest, we're technically already in the beginning stages. I mean, the stage has already been set for one. It's just that it hasn't escalated to the point of full-blown martial law. But if you didn't notice, the National Guard was also in Washington, D.C., and the mayor didn't like that. The mayor was trying to push back against that. You know, but the president said no, they're going to be there. So again, this is what they want. And what I've noticed is it's slowly but surely unfortunately happening. We are only halfway through 2020, and we have seen a lot go down from the time of what is it, February, to where the virus was, you know, just coming over to the States and affecting California and New York. Then it, of course, it eventually affected all 50 states. And then, of course, March, we pretty much sort of started our social distancing. What was it, March 13th, around the time our President Trump declared a national state of emergency. And then from there, which again, March 13th, that was the same day of the Breonna Taylor killing. The same day. And the sad part about that was they already had a suspect in custody. So there was no need for those for those officers to go up in her apartment to pretty much not announce themselves in plain clothes. And then when Kenneth Walker stepped up and exercised his Second Amendment, then they shot more than 20 rounds indiscriminately in her apartment, and she died. They pretty much murdered her. She was unarmed. And guess what? Those officers haven't even been charged. And you know what? They even got reassigned. So they're still out there in uniform.
Thugging it and loving it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably looking for their next victim because they're sick. Their mindset is evil. They're sick. There have been no charges in her case yet, and as of yet, and we're in June. So
And I understand why there ain't gonna be none. Like you know, because that's to get down. It seems like um it just seems like every single time something happens like that, man, you know, they get the police union and everybody else involved and the political spectacle and all that stuff. It just seems like everybody too scared to do what's right. You know, they're too scared to lose their position, to lose their money. They're too scared to do what's right. And I keep trying to tell folks, man, that's the reason why I ain't going to none of these protests. Because if I went to a protest and somebody pushed my mama down, I don't even want to
Ooh.
think about what's gonna happen next. Because I ain't throwing hands. You know what I'm saying? I ain't throwing hands with them dudes. It's too many of y'all, and I got the equalizer. But you know, that's just sad, man. You know, and that's not even and see, that's the thing. That's not even the first one. You know, remember you had to do in New York on his wedding night get smoked down by the police,
Yeah, I can't remember all their
and they
names.
had the wrong person,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even think anybody was charged for that, and they knew it, and they knew it. You know, we always why every time single time a cop got to come up and somebody be like, "Can you show me some ID? Show me some ID for what? Am I committed a crime?" And they're like, "No, I'm just telling you to. You're either giving me your ID or you're going downtown." You know what I'm saying? What kind of shit is that? When is it? When has it ever been okay to just pull people over or harass people for IDs just because you think something is? You think they suspicious? Oh yeah, that was Sean Bell, and then Ron Sportsman Lee said that wasn't EMTs; they were cops. Well, you know, I don't know how they do the EMTs down over there because some of those cops probably are EMTs. See what I'm saying? Some of those cops some of those cops out there, they got multiple jobs.
And also the firefighters too. Most of them have EMTs. But first of all, there's no excuse because common sense will tell you that the brain can only go so long without oxygen. And just because he's saying I can't breathe doesn't necessarily mean that he's breathing adequately. Believe me, those cops knew exactly what they
I,
were doing. They
I
knew exactly what they were doing. There is no excuse. It doesn't matter if they have an EMT basic cert or EMT P or advanced as far as paramedic. They knew exactly what they were doing.
right. I
He,
put Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I'm done. I'm
I
good.
put it to y'all like this. I put it to y'all like this. If you ever had a big girl sit on your lap, right? Yeah, at first it's kind of uncomfortable. But then guess what? That weight starts creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping it up. Next thing you know, you can't feel your legs. Next thing you know, that shit's starting to hurt. It's the same way with your chest. If you got weight on your neck or weight on your chest, if I put my arm around you and choke you slightly, eventually it's gonna get harder and harder and harder and harder for you to breathe to where you just gonna give up. Especially if you got your hands tied up and your legs locked into where you can't even move.
And you
It's
got
gonna get,
three, yeah, and you got three other people on your back. I'm like,
yeah,
wow. Like,
that's a big girl. That's a big girl right there. Three dudes. That's a big girl. It's about
mm,
300.
mm.
Nah, I was just playing, but just imagine that though. Like, you know, and I think it's very childish when people come out there and say, well, if you could talk, you could breathe. I was like, that's not how it works. I don't know what these cats been doing. I don't know if these cats ever been choked out, ever been choked, ever had, you know, playing football, having a, you know, underneath the bottom of a pal. I don't know what these dudes ever deal with. You don't. There's only you. It doesn't take a rocket, you know, scientist to say that. Yeah, okay. This guy, he's talking. He could breathe right now. But with the weight that's on him, that he's struggling to breathe, and you can hear it in his voice. And it's not like you couldn't just sit there and check his pulse. You had him in handcuffs. Not like you couldn't ease up. It wasn't like, what was he gonna do in handcuffs with four of y'all right there? What was he gonna do? He already let you. He already let you take him on the ground without throwing blows, without putting up a fight, what else was he going to do?
Yeah, they really showed him no mercy. And I've been an EMT basic for 6 years. And just me watching that, it was horrifying. It was horrifying watching him just struggle to breathe like that and then eventually go unconscious. But again, there's another reason why they did it, because they did that to induce fear. That really messed with my anxiety and depression. I was like, man, if and here comes that mental health aspect. You got to remember, these people like to play mental games, and they love to, again, try to take anything positive, like any type of peace of mind, away from us. And that was psychological warfare to induce fear, to again remind us of our place, as they say. Which is interesting, because I've done a little bit of research on the African genome, and you know what's so interesting about that? If it wasn't for the African genome, white people wouldn't even exist. You wouldn't even exist without us.
Well, they scared about being existing right now.
Because
they know right now.
They know that their time is just about up, and really it is. It's up. They're just
trying
to
have sexual relations with a white chick right now, just because.
Nah. Man, but no, they know their time is up. That's another reason for them to show out like they're showing out right now. They are really flexing hard. But your time,
my ass to Africa. I'm trying to tell y'all,
your time is over. Like, your time is over. You've had your time. You've had your fun. Now it's time to pay the fee, and the fat lady is gonna sing, and it's gonna be over. Pretty much.
Here we go with that fat lady.
Oh, my bad. Well, I'm just saying, it's just an expression, at the opera. Once that fat lady come out and start singing, man, that's it. Encore.
Yeah, but for real though, like, and back to this Candace Owens chick, and that's what I tell a lot of people. I know, right? She is a funny looking motherfucker. That's a funny specimen. That's a funny looking specimen.
Look how European that hair is looking. Ain't got a kink or curl up in that.
Well, she probably blew that out if her hair really that good. But it looked like one of them James Brown perms. It looked like one of them James Brown perms. She got in the picture. She got one of them old white lady sweaters on.
I'm nappy and happy, so I'm good. Hey, I'm fine.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I tell people all the time, is like, when you go to Nigeria, or just go to Africa and stuff like that, people are very comfortable with their naps. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like, if all you know is this and stuff like that, for everybody around the world to have the hair, same kinky hair and shit like you, it ain't gonna look as bad. You make it look bad because everybody want to go to the barbershop every week. Everybody want to put a relaxer in their hair. Everybody want to put hair dye and turn their hair pink and their nails pink and shit like that. I'm like trying to tell people, it's like, hey, look, that's the reason why your daughter want to look just like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B. That's the reason why they want to look like them fast ass hussies. You know what I'm saying? Get your shit right and teach them to be comfortable, and stuff like that. Then when they get older, they want to switch it up and do this and the third. But ain't no need for no chick in high school walking around here in some booty shaking competition shorts. Who's she shaking it for? Who's she shaking that booty for? Nigga, who raised her? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I ain't got no kids, man, but
I don't either. But this is what I'll say, and some people ain't gonna like it. The human trafficking is real. It's not just little girls and little boys.
Ohio is big.
That's my home state. But human trafficking is big with little girls, little boys, and with young women. So okay, I got it. you can say, well, back to the basics, you're just hating and I got it and I'm going to flaunt it. Okay. But remember what comes with that territory, and remember that you could potentially be attracting predators amongst other things.
Right.
And that's all I'm going to say. Oh, you grown,
Right.
you going to do what you're going to do. Okay. But just remember, you can't say that nobody didn't warn you or try to tell you.
Because them
And
grown
that's
ups
it.
is looking.
Oh,
Some of them grown people is looking like,
Mhm. And those human traffickers, they will use other women to get the little boys and little girls. It's not
yeah.
just men. They'll use other women and they'll use other children to lure them away. And then before you know it, boom,
You want a popsicle?
gone. Yeah, you want this? You want some candy?
Over there outside the high school, like R. Kelly.
Oh Lord.
And this is another thing that like baffles me, is that there's a lot of people out there that are very articulate without a college degree, or do have college degrees and stuff like that. And
that's right.
when I look at when I listen to, because she kind of resembles to me like a little high school boy. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that it doesn't take somebody with a degree to give you a good educated opinion. I think some people is too stuck up on that radio voice. I think some people is too stuck on that the proper voice and stuff like that, with the credentials and the platforms to out here to say, yeah, that's a good, well-spoken young lady, which she is, but she's not speaking the right vibration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that, with her background and the way she speaks, especially with the last thing she tried to do, try to give motherfuckers a history lesson before she went into some shit like we didn't know that shit, and nobody really gives a damn. Like, and that's let me finish, and I'm gonna say this. I think what would be a good niche for Candace Owens will be for her to do her investigating journalism and stuff like that on human trafficking. Whether or not it's black people, white people, Mexican people, Asian people, Indian people, because all them stores they got, some of them people, they getting pimped. Korean, they getting pimped in them hair stores. And do that. Do some shit like that. Like something really for a cause. You know what I'm saying? Because right now you not doing nothing for a cause. Period. As far as I'm concerned, is when it comes to human life. So maybe that could be a nice little niche for her. But other than that, oh damn, I forgot what to say. Jesus Christ. I ain't got no memory. Been hit upside the head too many times.
Oh, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say this, she's hurting the cause. She's hurting the cause for ADOS and for reparations. So when I see somebody like that, it's just like, you're not my sister. You are the enemy, and you will be treated as such. Right. Period. That's all I got. And I know what people saying, well, back to the basics, you're an ordained minister. I sure am. But hey, when Jesus was confronted by them Pharisees, he called them a generation of vipers. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think like the actual group ADOS, I need to do some more research, but from what I've seen, I don't think it's what it should be. But they doing something. Yeah, and people need to understand that.
Hey, I work with it.
And I think that a lot of people out here do need to understand, like you said before, and Elle said before, these stimulus checks, the next wave of stimulus checks they possibly think about rolling out again.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Go ahead. They can send it to me all they want to, because it's gonna go straight to my Robinhood account again.
All right.
But I seriously think there's most definitely time, space, and opportunity to speak on it. Really, there really is time, space, and opportunity to think on it. And not only with that is there's also the money.
Yep.
There's also the money for it.
Mhm.
And I don't think it should be for. I don't think reparations should be like, yeah, all black folks get college tuition, because everybody with a degree ain't got a job. Everybody with a degree ain't gonna get a good job. It doesn't work like that way. Somebody got to be a goddamn plumber. Somebody got to be an electrician. Somebody got to do the hair. Somebody got to go over there and work at the manufacturing plant to build the stove, the microwave, the shingles. Somebody got to build the house. See what I'm saying? And it doesn't. To me, it doesn't work like that way. I think really to tell you the truth, maybe even when it comes to business loans, business grants, put some money in people's pockets to where they can own the liquor store or the corner store in their own neighborhood, instead of keep bringing these Indians and these Muslim people up over here and owning these shits in the gas stations, to where we can't own nothing because they come over here with money.
Exactly. If you don't mind me piggybacking, there's another thing that really often isn't talked about much, and that is the amount of student loan debt. That is also another bubble that, again, people, it's one of the big elephants in the room, because to me, when I think of student loan debt, to me it's just another form of slavery. That's all debt is.
Well,
if you are a debtor and you're owing something to a lender, you're pretty much in servitude to whoever that lender is. And this is not to do a diss on college, because I mean, I did go to college, but the thing of the matter is, yeah, a person goes for 4 years and then they get out with maybe $40,000+ in debt, and then what if they don't?
Not at least.
And then what if they don't get that job? Now they are getting a job that really is not what they studied for, and then they're underpaid.
Yeah.
And then they're forever doing what? Paying back a student
Yeah.
loan. It's just another form
as long
to
as you
kill
owe me
wealth.
money, I never be broke.
There you go. So that right there is another way for them to take wealth from people. It's just another way.
Well, I put it to you like this: like, a lot of times when part of me want to say that it's their fault for getting a student loan and going out there and going to college and shit like that. But another part of me is kind of like, damn, you know what? What are you supposed to do? You got to take a risk. You got to do this. And at the same time, I'm like, damn, why should you actually pay that much to go to college? If we're supposed to be this big industrial complex, why should college really cost that much? For real. My buddy, he's a doctor. He a Chinese brother. He owed 300. He owed $300K.
Dang.
And,
wow.
And I told him, I was like, man, pay them bitches the minimum, and just do whatever you got to do, because you going to pay the minimum. I mean, not the minimum, but pay what you're supposed to pay, right, for X amount of years or whatever, indentured servitude. But live your life with the check that you get. You can go anywhere in the world you want to, get all the houses. You can get a house. You can get this. You can get that. Blah blah blah. Woo. Or you can just pay that shit. Work on, bust your ass and pay that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Within a couple years. But I told him, I was like, most white people, guess what they do? They don't care about the debt that they have, because they constantly using somebody else's money to make money. So it doesn't matter. I was like, you having a student loan, but this is how much money you make a month, man. I won't even trip on that. You're gonna get whatever that motherfucking contract say, because at the end of the day, if you was to strive to pay that shit off quickly, you not gonna have a good 5-10 years. You're not. Then by the time you pay that shit off, it's time to retire.
Yeah.
And now you ain't getting that regular check a month. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to work an additional 10, 20 years when you're supposed to retire.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're right. It is like indentured servitude. It's like, we got you until you die. Because let's just say, for instance, you go to school to be a doctor. How much is a house? How much is a car? See what I'm saying? How much you get a month? You got kids now. You got a wife. You want to get a house. That shit start adding up, man. Like, I keep trying to tell folks, man, like, it ain't that you get that degree and you get out of that motherfucker, man. If you owe $20,000-$30,000, man, you lucky.
Yeah, this is true.
You lucky leaving there with a bachelor's, master's, or a doctor's degree. You owing $20,000-$30,000. You better be happy. Yeah, you could pray up and down for a student loan thing to come out. I don't think they should pay it all, but I think that I think some of that student loan debt, I think a big portion of that shit should be paid off. You know, at least pay 50% of these motherfuckers shit off. At least put them in the green, because that's, you know, $300,000 a lot, $150,000 is a lot, you know, $50,000 is a lot, you know, and for 4 years of college, when you want people to go to college to become doctors, civil engineers, scientists, and shit like that, you want people in America to do it, but you want everybody to pay premiums, like a real live, like gotcha, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like premium.
Yep, that's what it is.
And you know, I'm still going to school for network security. But there's another thing that you said too. A lot of people that get degrees, they ain't working in them goddamn fields they got the degree in. The job just picked them to do a job on the job because they have a 4-year degree and it shows a level of fucking commitment. That's it. You don't know shit. They got to get on the job, learn a job from a dude that ain't even got a goddamn degree. And the whole time they getting paid, they going to the dude that ain't got a degree to get the goddamn pointers and tips.
Exactly. Right. And you know what's interesting? I've seen with some of these jobs, they want at least 1 or more years of experience. So it's like, if you can't get in at entry level, they're not even trying to look at you.
and that's how it should be, man. Like with the whole network security thing, man. Like the amount of pay you would get, you know, probably like $80,000 a year, right? Most of those are government contracts. Some of those are like, you could get GS jobs, GS jobs, a GS job, you know, so you have some rank. And then not only that feeds into, you know, actual real Title 10 retirement.
Oh yeah. All right.
But I was trying to tell my homies, like why the fuck you going to school for business? He's like, oh man, I want to open up my own restaurant and shit like that. I was like, nigga, you could do that without a degree. Have you ever thought about that? How about you go to college for something else that has to do with a restaurant? You know what I'm saying? Or you know, go over there, work for a Habitat of Humanity, learn how to, you know, fix houses and shit like that. So when you get your restaurant, you know how to work with wood. Or go get some plumbing. You know how to do HVAC, because you got a restaurant, you got to have AC. Because in that shit, you got a restaurant like that spot in Toledo. It's called Caribbean Breeze, but it ain't got no AC. So in the summertime, it is a Caribbean Breeze because it's hot as a motherfucker. Everybody's sweating. It is tropical weather in that motherfucker. It's humid and it's wet and it's hot.
I think as a people, we need to think of, again, with this COVID-19, you know, we have had distractions removed, like the NBA and the NFL and other different distractions, such as
NFL,
work.
NBA, new white dudes is a distraction.
So we've had time to actually sit and think and brainstorm and come up with a strategy as a people to move forward. And again, there are some people on this platform on YouTube who talk about separation. But in order to do that, we have to really come up with a game plan. First of all, we need to be on code. Second of all, we have to pull our money together. And then we have to think about, okay, in society, what do we need? We need our own police. Let me tell you something. The police shouldn't be policing our neighborhoods. We should be policing our neighborhoods. In order for us to really separate, we're going to have to think really big and move in a very strategic manner. We're going to need our own doctors, our own hospitals, our own land, our own architects, our own teachers, professors, universities, all of the infrastructure. We need our own criminal justice system. We don't need what we got right now, this criminal against us system. We need our own stuff. And it's going to take us a minute, but I do believe that we can do it. But it's going to take some time.
Well, I mean, with the police and the criminal justice systems and stuff like that, I think that always has to be in place. But I think when it comes to, it has to be the correct representation. Because when the Irish came over here, they got into the police force. They policed their own neighborhood. The Jewish people got a stronghold with the police. All these other people got a stronghold with the police. We the only community in the U.S. that don't have a solid community to where when we get affected, our voice is effectively heard right away. You see what I'm saying? If George Floyd was a Jewish dude in New York, please, we wouldn't be talking about all this shit. They already be talking about changing rules and regulations. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because we don't have. Yeah, you're right. We don't have proper policing for ourselves. We don't have proper, legal representation ever, especially when it comes to these public pretenders. Some of them actually strive to do a good job, but I told a lot of people, it's like, if you got 20 cases in 1 week, like, what can you really do for everybody? You would burn yourself out if you was a lawyer.
Shoot.
You would burn yourself out because you got to dig into this case. You got to dig into this case. You got to remember this, remember that. You would burn your fucking self out. What I'm saying is that when it comes with us, I think that, I think for one, I think we need to take back what's in the community, the stores and stuff like that. And I think that we need to do without a lot of other motherfuckers, just like Africa should. When you start cutting people off, cutting things off, and start dealing within ourselves. I mean, yeah, you go out there buy that. You can. I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm not even gonna talk about the alcohol. But you got corner stores lined up around the ghettos. You got gas stations. You got like a Walmart or a Rite Aid, CVS lined up around there. You got a Burger Queen, McDonald's, and all that shit around there. And 9 times out of 10, black folks don't own none of that. Don't own none of that. You'd rather go to fucking a barbecue chain for some ribs than go to the black dude on the corner selling this shit for cheaper. Or even the restaurant, you can sit down. You rather do that. And then when your black ass get up in there, you want to be like, nah, man, you didn't give me enough, man. Can I get a discount?
Lord have mercy.
You know what I'm saying?
Our people.
Look, I damn near, when I talk about that Jamaican restaurant, I damn near worked there. And I used to see this shit all the time. And I used to check dudes. I'd be like, man, you ain't going to McDonald's doing that shit. You ain't going to no white restaurant doing that shit. Why you got to come in over here? I heard what you ordered, and she took your order. They bring it back, they give it to you, and you're gonna say that's not what you ordered, and then you ate some of it, and then you want to give it back,
Lord have
and then
mercy.
you want to ask for your real shit. I'm like, nah, man, don't work like that, homie. I was like, you knew what it was. I heard you, man. You asked for rice and peas, cabbage, and jerk chicken, and that's what you got. You didn't ask for no cornbread and no goddamn mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm sitting there listening to the dude because my partner used to own one of them, and he was laughing when I was talking to the dude. He was like, "Come on, boss man, why you gotta do him like that? Because he's lying, he tripping." And he used to give people free plates all the time because he don't want to deal with the shit. And I'm like, dude, you're losing business, you losing money. They're getting over on purpose. They found a sucker, and they're gonna keep doing it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And we got to do a good job of policing ourselves, man, from here on and out, because we've been under the microscope. We're going to continue to be on the microscope. My whole thing is, when I'm talking about policing ourselves, I'm talking about to make sure the ones that's next to you, that the ones that you love and shit like that, make sure everybody is cool. Make sure everybody doing what they're supposed to do. Make sure everybody is positive vibes. Straight up positive vibes, man. It's like most black folks will give a loan to somebody they don't even fucking know, rather than their own goddamn family members. And the first thing they say, that nigga ain't never done nothing for me.
Yep.
Or he never paid me back. First of all, if my family member asks for $20, $30, I'm like, hey man, keep it. If you feel like pay me back. If you don't, no hard feelings. But I'm not gonna come chasing you around for no goddamn 20, 30 fucking funky ass dollars. You know what I'm saying? But I know they need it. I know they genuinely need it.
Yeah, I know you hear it, but that's the problem. We have gone away from, because I dated.
Real quick, can you cook real quick while I go? Make some water.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right.
I wish I had some music. Like I ain't got no elevator music. I ain't got no elevator music. Oh my goodness. Okay. It happens. We're here talking about Candace Owens. We were just talking about how some of us try to get over on Black businesses. I know not everybody's doing that, but I think that it is important for us to support Black businesses. I know I try to as much as I can, because just like what Mr. Mike was saying, some of us, we wouldn't do that to another business. Whether if it was like a restaurant chain or a franchise or anything else, or a department store. So I don't believe we should do that to our own people, whether they have a mom and pop store, or if they have, as far as their businesses on the side of the road. Yeah, we really need to support Black businesses. And not treat them differently than we would a restaurant franchise or any other like name brand.
I got something to say about that. So, so a lot of people I see on Facebook, that's my friends and stuff like that. They I seen a few posts that when they go into Black businesses and stuff like that, the customer service. How's your customer service been in Black businesses?
It varies from place to place. It does depend upon where you are, and again, the vibe. So for example, I've been in yeah, I'll just say this. I moved from New York to Kentucky recently. So in December, before everything we closed, I had a chance to go to Louisville. So there was this nice Nigerian restaurant, authentic, called Funmi's Cafe. And I mean, I went online. I just recently double checked their website. Very professional, and and I felt the atmosphere was very positive. Positive that there was a gentleman of African descent who greeted me. He actually walked me to a seat of my choosing, and then I was served very well. But that was just in that particular restaurant, and it was again authentic Nigerian. It was really good. Had a chance to do some yam based fufu with some kale beef
I know
and
about it. I
some
know about
and
that.
some zobo. So it was really good.
I know about that.
And I know for the mom and pop stores, really not too many issues there. I mean, I can't really, again, it just depends where a person is. Whenever I visited some cousins in Cleveland, years ago, I didn't have too much of a problem. But then again, it depends upon where a person is. Because yeah, I got it. Some people can be straight up ignorant, have an attitude, will literally act like that they didn't see you come in and sit down or that you're waiting in line. So I understand where you're getting at, but it varies. Most of my experiences have been positive. That's what I
Mine
will
too.
say.
Mine
And
too.
that's what I will say. You will have your few in between that gets a little, with the attitude and different things. But mostly for Black businesses, I can't really. I've had positive experiences, so I just don't, and that's another reason why I don't understand why our people don't support Black businesses. Like like me personally, yeah, I get my hair, retwisted every like 2 to 3 months, but I make sure, and people may say, well, you're discriminating. Well, no, I make sure that it's somebody Black who does my hair, and I do try to support Black businesses. I mean, because that is important that we invest back into ourselves. Every other community does,
right.
So why shouldn't we? That's
Even
how I
all the
feel
way
about
down to the Muslim restaurants as well. They be up in there. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely right. But guess what? I ain't gonna have no white dude cut my hair and risk my hairline. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna risk a little like LeBron out in this motherfucker or Red Fox. George Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Is you absolutely right? My experience has been pretty good. I think that everybody that I heard that said they had a bad experience, I know that they have funky ass attitudes when they know that they spending money. They have funky ass attitudes. They act like they the shit and stuff like that when they walk up in there. Like, no. And that's the reason why everywhere I go, even with Japanese people, they like me. Whether or not, it's Germany, Portugal, whatever the case may be. They like me because I treat everybody like they're a fucking human being. Whether or not they take my order or not. Treat them like a fucking human being. Like, I don't understand why people. Well, I understand why people do it. But I would like that. I would like for people, within the Black community to spend more, on Black businesses. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you know what? I want to see a Black-owned Chinese food restaurant. That's what I want to see. Take them motherfuckers out of business. You know what I'm saying? Because they overcooking the rice and the vegetables anyway. They ain't eating that shit. Look what they eat in the back. They vegetables don't be looking all mushy like that. Broccoli looking brown, rice all soggy and shit. They shit ain't looking like that. How the hell you overcook goddamn carrots? How you do that? And they be doing this shit all the time. Like, I know how to make homemade fried rice. And I tell you, all my homies say they the best shit they ever had in their life. And guess what? It's always a day old rice. Whatever the rice I use the next day, if it ain't cooked all the way, especially when I make my curry goat, if I know my curry goat and need X amount of rice, make a big pot of that, make some fried rice, make some of that curry goat, and it's a wrap.
That's it.
That's why everybody call me Unc, because they come over here, they know I got the meats. You know what I'm saying? I feed all my homies like even if let's just say this is how I do it, and I wish a lot of black people do the same thing. You come to my house, man, you ain't gotta ask for no damn food. You know what I'm saying? If you hungry, just say, hey man, I'm hungry. That's the key word for I ain't got shit. Can you hook me up? I won't be mad. You know what I'm saying? I'll make you something real quick, make you and me something in the whole house. Like I'll usually barbecue like 3-4 times a week. And all my homies come over here like I'm feeding the homeless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at it. They bring their own shit, like some chicken and steaks and shit, lobster tails and shit like that. You know, they know I love my lamb chops, so they bring me a couple of pieces of them. You know what I'm saying? But people generally know, like when they know I'm cooking or barbecuing, they show up. I'm not gonna say no, man. And because people, when people is hungry and shit like that, or ain't got shit, you know what I'm saying? Like my homies, I'm not about to do nobody like that. But guess what? People would, and the reason why people would, because they don't give a damn about the next person, and they go out there, they spend their money anywhere and everywhere, other than their own people, and then cry every now and again that you know they ain't no good businesses in the hood and stuff like that. Don't nobody respect you. Nobody respect you because you don't even respect yourself. You don't respect yourself, and you don't respect yourself. You don't even got to really respect yourself. You don't even respect the next man next to you. You don't respect the next man next to you. You know, I understand everybody out there to get you and shit like that. But guess what? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody learns from their mistakes. Sometimes it's not that everybody out there to get you. Sometimes people make genuine fucking mistakes because they probably thinking the same thing you do. They out to get me, and they make a motherfucking mistake. And you can't be going out there, going on Amazon, the dude out there all the time, and you know now he giving all Trump kind of money. He ain't saying shit about Trump. You know he damn near on both of his knees. And then you got all these other websites you want to buy clothes and shoes and shit from, and they don't give a damn about your ass. You buying Gucci, and they for damn for sure laughing at your black ass. So they know you can't afford it. They know you would spend your last. You would spend your last for a goddamn belt, pair of shoes, or a purse before you actually feed your kids. Because it look good. You know nobody give a damn. It's how you wear it, baby. It's how you wear it. See, look at this young lady back over here. Back to the basics. See that thing that she got on her head? Yeah, it might be cheap, but it's how she wears it. Look how good it look on that. Look like a goddamn crown. Look at it. It's how she wear it. And y'all motherfuckers don't understand that shit. When I was growing up, I didn't have shit. We had like 10 motherfuckers in a 2-bedroom apartment, sleeping on pallets. Shit.
Oh, dang, roots. Okay. No, I'm playing. I'm messing with you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm trying to tell cats, man, we didn't have nothing. That's why, you know, when you hear me talking about I'm making some beans, that's what I grew up on. Beans and neck bones, baby, and cabbage.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Beans.
I didn't grow up on eating steak and T-bone steaks and lobster tails and shit like that. No, man. If we was able to get that shit, if we go over to somebody's house and they had that shit, we was mad niggerish about it, ate it all. Didn't let nobody get none. Because there's no telling the next time we were able to get something good like that. See what I'm saying? And I tell a lot of people all the time, man, it's like a lot of people out there, you know, they want to blame shit on the daddy issues or the mama issues or their family didn't have shit and stuff like that. It's all in you, baby. It's all in you. It's all in you. And you got George Floyd. He just died. We got all these protests out there. And niggas out there still want to fight over nothing. Still want to kill each other over nothing. For nothing. And you broke. and you broke, and you should be striving. You should be striving to better yourself. This is the most best opportunity to better yourself right now, because guess what? The whole world is waiting to see what you gonna do, and they betting against you. And you know what happens when people is betting against you and you beat the market? You know what happens? You become successful.
That's it.
Like you don't have to have a business degree to open up a business. You got to have the willpower. You got to have the mindset. You got to have the drive. You got to have the willingness to sit up over there, step your foot into something that you've never done before. And yeah, you might have to sacrifice a few things. Partying, drinking, smoking weed. But if you never get out there and step your foot into something, you're going to never know what you're able to do. Yeah, you sold some drugs, you did this and the third, made you a couple of dollars. Ain't no retirement plan in that. The only retirement plan in that is to end up in jail. Go on Vlad TV, look at all the rest of look at all the real hustlers. They ended up in jail. Look at all the pimps. They've won at one period of time in jail as well and lost money. Get your feet wet. A lot of y'all women out there good with the hair. Y'all good with the nails. Y'all doing it from y'all home. Work on doing 100%. Some of y'all food at the crib is real good as fuck. Get you a food truck. Get you a separate kitchen at your crib to where you can legally cater. Because a lot of these food trucks and a lot of these restaurants ain't worth the damn soul food, especially some of these soul food restaurants. My God. My God. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I made greens 2 days ago. I'm about to get me some as soon as I'm done with this. And they good in the motherfucker. And I don't need no hot sauce. There ain't no pepper in it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to tell these cats, like, I don't understand. It's like, what's really going on? You know? Like, you can open up, you can do whatever, plumbing, electrical. I'm trying to get my couple of my homies to get in with me so we could buy a house.
There you go.
We can all fix it up. You know what I'm saying? 2 days out of a week, go over there, knock out a project a week. You know, take all the carpet out. You know, redo the floors, redo the walls, put in a new kitchen, and rent the motherfucker out. And then see the money we get back. And then I told him, it's like, so what if we lose money? We got our feet wet. We tried it. If we think this what we did on this side didn't work, we can also try again. But we have income coming in because somebody living there paying rent. So we can get another one and do the same thing. And I told him, it's like, we ain't gotta have the money. All we gotta do is build up some rules, some bylaws, make an LLC, go out there and put all our names on it and get a loan.
There you go. And that right there is how we as a people, we have to look at this. Listen, I understand that there's a lot of killing and unfortunately it's going to continue, but we have to stay focused and not allow ourselves to get too emotional during this time period, because I believe in our people. I refuse to give up on our people. I understand that some people, some of our people have given up on our people. They say, well, you know, there's nothing left. We're doomed. No, we're not. Because as long as there's still people out there who are willing to come together and work together, like you say, as a team, teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. So then not all is lost. And that's how that's how I feel about it. Yes, we have a lot of problems now. We have to move in a strategic manner and really and move in a deliberate manner in order to resolve some things, resolve some issues, and move forward.
I think that's about right. We do got some shit to resolve. Yeah. Shit. Anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me
Well, I tell
to
everybody,
speak
man,
on your platform.
ain't no need for no thank yous. I tell everybody that come on over here, man, ain't no thank yous. It's either a goodbye, your service is no longer needed, or
Dang,
you know what I'm
he's so
saying? No,
terminated.
nah, because like now you can't go on YouTube, right? You can't click on nobody's name and actually go to their profile on YouTube no more. So I've been having a problem with like fake people coming over and
Oh
posing
yeah.
somebody else coming on every. You won't be. I had like 3 racist dudes on one of my live streams coming up with my homies' names over and over again.
Wow.
And it was just like they come on, they just like nigga. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, like who are you? But
Right.
I always like people coming on, man. You have a channel, by the way?
Yes, I do. It's back to the basics. I'm already subbed to you.
I think I'm subbed to you too.
I think you are, so we should be fine.
I'm checking it out
here.
right now just in case.
Hold on, let me go to that.
I typed in back to the basics. It ain't nothing but a bunch of dudes.
Here. If you look in the private chat,
Okay.
Just search for that. And
I'm
then
gonna do that right now.
you'll see my avatar pop up, my thumbnail, I guess you call it.
I got you.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of material. I got seasons 1, 2, and 3, and back to the basics brief. So if you can have a back to the basics marathon.
I know. I see
what it is, man. It's a lot of material.
I'm gonna catch up on you. It's just that like recently,
I'm gonna catch up on you too.
I just been busy. I just been busy. Luckily, there's not a football season because I'll be more busy. I just been busy teleworking from home and barbecuing, and it's hard for me to catch my boxing stuff with, Fanon, Black Fight Fan, and all those other cats and stuff like that. It's just hard for me to get online. Underrated Darkness is one of the dudes. I used to go on this platform a lot. It's just like, recently I ain't been able to like catch his live streams and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He mostly knows his boxing, but mostly he just talks about, people bettering themselves,
Yeah, he's a good person. I'm actually a moderator on his channel, so he may go live later on today. So it's possible. So we'll see.
I've been trying to tell him to stay away from that goddamn ice cream. Every time he have a goddamn dinner plate, he got ice cream on them. I was like, man, that's too much. Stay away from that dairy, bruh. Stay away from that dairy. You don't want to listen. But anyways, I gotta go. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, thanks for having me.
I'm gonna try my damnedest to come over there and get up in your chat and give you some likes. You know what I'm saying? And show my support.
Okay, well, thank you. You enjoy yourself and have a good day. Peace and blessings to you.
You know it. All right now.